Would everyone please rise and join me as we honor our country with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Good evening, and thank you for attending tonight's Troup High School chapter of the National Honor Society's Year in Review. More than just a list of names, the THS and NHS serves to recognize those students who have demonstrated excellence in the areas of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. These characteristics have been associated with membership since its beginning in 1921. The National Honor Society annually invites students with a minimum GPA of 3.0 to apply. The 5 members of the Faculty Council evaluate and select applicants based on multiple criteria. Members are then held to the standards of the NHS, National Constitution, and local bylaws. The 4 pillars of the National Honor Society, scholarship, service, leadership, and character, lead our paths in each and every day. Scholarship is a commitment to learning. Members are willing to spend the necessary time to cultivate his or her mind in the quest for knowledge. This pillar can only be achieved through diligence and effort. Scholarship means always doing the best work possible, regardless of impending reward. Service can be reached in a variety of ways. The willingness to work for the benefit of those in need without compensation or recognition of any kind is a quality that is essential in an NHS member. As a service club, the National Honor Society is highly concerned with giving its all to the school and community at large. Leadership takes the initiative to aid others in a wholesome manner throughout their daily activities. Leaders sacrifice their personal interests in order to yield to the needs of others. Leaders need wisdom and self-confidence to effect change in all aspects of their lives. Some examples of leadership can include, but are not limited to, leading group activities in the classroom and in the community, being an officer in a club, being a primary member of the band or choir, or being a captain of a sports team. Character is what distinguishes one individual from another. It is the product of constant striving to make the right choices day after day. Students with good character demonstrate respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, and citizenship in all their actions. Tonight, we will celebrate the accomplishments of our members and celebrate our supporters. It is our hope that tonight you will leave here inspired to continue to strive to be better students, better community members, and better leaders. At this time, I would like to introduce our program's guest speaker and lifelong Troup resident, Mr. Joe Carlisle. Mr. Carlisle is a 1974 graduate of Troup High School. His mother, Dorothy, Mrs. Dodo, was a teacher at Troup for many years. He and his wife, Debbie, will be married for 36 years this July. All 3 of his children, Elizabeth, Drew, and Rebecca, are graduates of Troup High School. Mr. Carlisle is currently serving as the mayor of Troup and has been the owner of Carlisle Homes Incorporated in downtown Troup for over 20 years. He has served as a member of the City Council, Kiwanis, and president of the Tyler Area Builders Association, and on the board for many years. He has also been the president of the Texas Home Builders Association and currently serves on their board. Mr. Carlisle's service to his community is a direct reflection of his love for his people. You will always see a smile on his face. He has a sincere concern and admiration for the people here, and he never ends a conversation without a good laugh. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Joe Carlisle.
So, moms and dads, grandparents, teachers, administrators, Mrs. Berryhill, school board members. I do have some notes. As Mr. Witzel was so kind to tell you, I am a graduate of the 1974 Troup Tiger class, and my wife, Debbie, is my wife of almost 36 years, is a graduate of the 1976 class, the Battle in Billings from Fredericksburg, Texas. I want to go ahead and mention that. She's a little younger than me. I didn't know exactly what I was going to say to you tonight, but I want to talk to you guys. How many of you here sitting here are seniors and the juniors in the group? The rest? So here's the thing. In 1974, I was busy living my life in a way that most young men or young women are living their lives, and I didn't really know what direction I was headed. So I'm going to tell you a few things about what Colton was telling you earlier. I do own Carlisle Homes. It's a company that I started in 1990, but before that I worked for my father, and my father worked for his father. We own Troup Lumber Company, which is now Harry's. So if you count my kids, there's 4 generations of Carlisles that have lived here, and almost all of us, my grandfather didn't, but almost all of us went to Troup High School. When I was here, there was no air conditioning in the school. So we fought for the fan at the door. It's the only way that you can get a little cool air blowing across you. None of you know what that's like that are sitting up here. Some of you sitting out there know exactly what that's like. I did serve as the founding president of the Troup Kiwanis Club, which is not active now. I was chosen by my peers to serve as the president of the Tyler Area Builders Association, which is an organization that represents home builders and individuals that provide services and materials to the home building industry. And some years later, I was asked to serve by my peers at the state level as president of the Texas Association of Builders. That job required a 5-year commitment. You serve as treasurer, secretary, first vice president, president, and finally 1 year as immediate past president. That's a commitment to travel to Austin probably 10, 15 times a year for 5 years, and occasionally outside of the state to discuss things that are relevant to the industry that I chose to make my living in, which is the house building industry. With that being said, I was a volunteer in all of those positions. I'm a volunteer as the mayor of the city of Troup, and before I was mayor, Mr. Whitzel was mayor, and I was a volunteer as a city council member. Approximately 9 years I served in that capacity. In 1974, I was 17 years old. I'd never given any kind of thought whatsoever to what I might do as a career. And I was familiar with the lumber industry, but I never thought that I would work there. And I certainly didn't expect to be the mayor of the city of Troup some 40 years, or maybe more than 40 years later. And even at that time, I didn't think that I would move back to Troup. So I didn't think that I would be in the housing business with an office in downtown Troup. I didn't think that I would be an elected official serving the citizens of the city of Troup. And I didn't think I was going to live here. As a matter of fact, there was a period of time when I was absolutely certain this would be the last place I would live. And some of you might think that right now, but if in the event you decide to become parents or accidentally become parents, we didn't plan any of our kids, but we love them all. If that happens, you'll want to be back here to raise your kids. You don't completely grasp it now, but you will. So with that being said, I had no idea in 1974 that I would be here in a position that I would be asked to speak to a group of distinguished young men and young women like yourself. But here I am. You're members of, pretty much unquestionably the most elite group of students on this campus, not just in Troup, but also in the state and in the nation. However, you didn't choose to join the National Honor Society. You made other choices in your life that provided the opportunity for you to be in the National Honor Society, and your GPA was one of the criteria that you talked about. I would say right now it would be very difficult for you guys and girls to say where you'll be in 20 years. And again, it's been a little more than 20 years for me, but I'm going to try to make it something that you can visualize. where you'll live in 20 years, where you'll work in 20 years, who you'll spend your life with by the time 20 years has gone by. I think you'll know who that is. Whether or not you'll have children, what your career will be, what role you'll have in leading your city, your state, your community, possibly your church, your business, and most importantly, your family. You don't know that right now. You have some ideas. Some of you are more focused on where you're going to go immediately than others. Some of you are absolutely terrified at what the next step is. I wasn't actually terrified. I just sort of jumped in there and found out what was going to happen next, and because of God's good grace, I ended up where I did. But you didn't get to choose to be in the National Honor Society. Your teachers, your leaders, your family, your hard work as students is how you got to be in the National Honor Society. The rest of these 20 years, as you find where you're going to be, these same kinds of wise choices are going to be what places you in the roles that you're going to find yourselves in later on. Some of you will lead. Sometimes you'll need to follow. Some of you will teach. Others of you will learn. Some of you will build or work with your hands. Some of you will provide health care in one form or another. You'll provide first responder help as ambulance or fire personnel. Some of you will be in law enforcement. Some of you will be in the military. You don't probably have any idea what that's going to be right now. Others of you will stay at home and you'll raise families. And hopefully, those families will be young men and women that someday you'll be as proud of as I'm sure your parents and grandparents are right now of you. In the future, your choices will determine how satisfied you are with where you end up, whether you just are coasting along or whether you're really happy in your station in life, whether you enjoy what you're doing and who you're with and where you're living. So tonight I want to challenge you to continue to choose to look forward, not backward, to be honest in everything, even if it's unpopular, to choose good friends and good peers. My father has a saying that you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas, and there have been a few instances in my life when I've had to dust some fleas off more than once. So choose your friends and your peers wisely. There's plenty of them out there. You don't have to hang around with the wrong people. And when you get out of school and you move away from mom and dad, you might every now and then be exposed to some people that you shouldn't be hanging out with. So probably not this group, but my group did. I would encourage you to volunteer. That's why I'm here right now. It's because I have volunteered across my industry and in my city and in other areas of my life. I would encourage you also to choose to have a relationship with higher power. I would choose you to say thank you to your family. Thank you to your teachers. Thank you to the men and women who influenced who you've become to this point in your life and who will influence who you are later in life. I choose you to stand up for those who can't or won't stand up for themselves. Sometimes we talk about bullying. You'll see things in life later on where people are taken advantage of in a way they shouldn't be. And strong men and women like yourselves can stop and say, I'm going to stand up for that person. So stand up for those people. You'll find out that your membership in NHS is very much like the next station in your life. It's not necessarily because of something you did, but it's about a series of choices that you made along the way. And I encourage you to continue to make those choices because your future will be determined by them. Someday I hope to be able to be sitting out in the audience and hear one of you come back here and speak because you were invited because of some success in your life, some place that you gave back, some place that you volunteered, some successes that you had through teaching, through learning, through giving service to others. And when I hear about that success in the future, I'm going to be excited to say that maybe some part of what I had to say to you tonight was an inspiration to you. So congratulations to the 2017 seniors and juniors in the National Honor Society of Troup High School. Thank you for letting me speak.
As identified in the National Honor Society Constitution, honorary membership may be granted to certain individuals who've extended outstanding service to the school or community in keeping with the purposes of the NHS. At this time, on behalf of Troup High School chapter of the National Honor Society, I would like to award Mr. Joe Carlisle this honorary membership.
I did tell Miss Berryhill that I was not an NHS student. I think it was GPA related. I went to a larger university, and when all the kids that I met from Dallas and Houston and San Antonio told me where they finished in their class, they were in the 100s or the 120s or the 150s, and when I told them I graduated 27th, they were very impressed. There were 54 kids in my class.
It goes without saying that this person has become a special part of our community. She can be found at every event with a camera and a notepad in her hand, ready to report on the activities of our chapter. Every member that wanted coverage of their service project was granted that coverage and then some in the Tri-County Leader. She goes above and beyond her job description to support our school and community. She is a happy, energetic person with a lot of love for people. At this time, on behalf of the Troup High School chapter of the National Honor Society, it is my honor to present an honorary membership to Ms. Suzanne Loudon.
Yes, I'm crying. I've cried everything these days.
Well, I won't say much because then I'll start to cry. But Joe, I was in the National Honor Society my senior year. Let's see, my classes were drill team, choir, French, and we kind of went to class, and honors English. So that's why I made the National Honor Society.
What an amazing year this has been for our chapter. Our chapter has learned that having courage over comfort is an essential element of growth. That choosing what is right over what is fun, fast, or easy or not easy, it's not always easy to do that. And that choosing to practice your values rather than simply professing them is the definition of integrity. The absolute, in my opinion, the absolute most important thing that these young people have learned is to lead is to serve. That doing something for others without expecting anything in return feels good. At this time, I would like to present a special award to a member that has overcome obstacles over the past year. He is responsible and kind and funny and diligent, and he has the world at his fingertips. And he has got to where he can just read my mind, and that's a scary thing in itself. So, I would like to present the NHS Member of the Year to Colton Selfridge. Our chapter is fortunate to have eager and willing officers that have paved the way for success this year. They dedicated extra time out of their busy schedules to hold meetings, attend trainings that were a little crazy, and other duties as expected by their advisor. At this time, I would like to present a pin to the 2017 officers. Our treasurer was Jansen Reed. Our secretary was Jones R. Our vice president was Ariel Aragon. And last but not least, our president. You know, being the first year that we've started, that we joined the national affiliation, we've gone by the book. And this guy knows the book and will let me know when I'm not going by the book. And he will come by and check on me and do things for me that I didn't know I needed. And so he has been priceless to our chapter. And our president was Colton Whitsley. At this time, we have a few more special presentations. Mr. Whittle from the fire department has a few awards.
I'm glad to hear that Bill Colton knows how to go by the book somewhere, because he doesn't recall it. There's something that Mayor Carlisle left out in his volunteering activities, because once upon a time he was a paramedic and a member of the Troup Volunteer Fire Department, and that's something that he didn't add in, and that's who I'm representing tonight. I am the president of the fire department, and I think it's important that we teach and we mold our young citizens into learning how and to step into the roles that we're going to step out of, hopefully sooner than later. And we need people to do that. And these service projects that these young men and women did are helping to foster those attitudes of giving back to your community. But at this time, the fire department would like to thank Randy Wilson and Jones R. for their donations to our organization.
So, kind of to follow what Mr. Witzel said, as SRO for this campus, I have gotten to know each and every one of these kids. It's been a really fun treat getting to know each one of them and their personalities. And this year they decided to do service projects. Two of the ones that benefited our police department in particular. The first one was Cupcakes for Cops, Miss Medea Oakmount. She decided what she did was she baked, how many cupcakes? 250. She baked 250 cupcakes by herself, and all of the proceeds that she got, minus expenses, went straight to the police department. And that was a big deal for a kid their age to think about the police department. A second one that I'd like to present, Mr. Jones R. What he did was he made blankets. And I'll explain why in just a second. So, in law enforcement and even at the fire department, EMS, we see a lot of traumatic scenes. And some of those, unfortunately, involve small children. In an event like that, what we can do, what Mr. R decided to do, was he made really fuzzy, fluffy blankets that we could give to those small children, that we could wrap them in so that they'd feel warm and comforted. That was something really big to me. He put his heart out there for that, and I applaud him for it. All right, Sergeant Stowers is going to come up next, and he's going to present our next award.
Jeff Williams. Jeff McCormick did a spaghetti for Stowers dinner. For those who don't know, my name is Stowers. Most people just know me as Luke's dad. Luke's the dog, by the way. The only people who actually know my name typically are on the wrong side of the law. Jeff, for your participation, for your help.
I have an award here from the city of Troup, and it says, in grateful appreciation for your contribution as Troup High School National Honor Society, and it is to Brooke Hunter. And the last award is a similar award, and it is presented to Colton Selvage. I had the opportunity to meet a number of these kids that came and made presentations to the city when they completed their service project, and to you parents and brothers and sisters and grandparents and aunts and uncles, you should be so proud of this kid.
Hundreds of hours of commitment to volunteering and serving others have defined our chapter this year. We would like to thank all of the support we have received from the administration and faculty, community, and our families and youth endeavors. It is hard to put into words all of the activities that our chapter participated in this year. So we have compiled a short video for your enjoyment that showcases all the fun we had as a chapter during all of these activities.